Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a special first episode in the Ryan Bellman podcast series. I thought it would be no better way to kick it off than to speak to the man of the moment, someone I like to refer to as the Godfather of arm wrestling, someone whose voice is synonymous with the sport. It's the first man that I ever actually heard in a commentary sense. It was the Arm Wars Super Series back in 2013 that caught my attention as an arm wrestler. And there's a new vision on the horizon for Arm Wars. So, ladies and gentlemen, joining us by audio tonight is Mr. Neil Pickup. Neil, how are you, sir?
All right, Ryan. How are you doing? I'm tired, but I'm all right.
Good to see you. Good to hear your voice as well. That classic, iconic voice. I'm glad you're doing well. But we've only got a short time with you tonight. I'd love to maybe revisit this a little bit more down the track. But for everyone who's a fan of the arm wrestling world, Arm Wars has got a new vision and a new direction that we're heading, and I want to ask you and dive into that a little bit tonight, because it's an exciting time for the sport, exciting time for yourself, no doubt. But before we get into the juicy bits of where it's going, I wanted to kind of give the audience a little bit of a history on where it is coming from. So, first questions first, Neil. When did you know that you were going to be a commentator, promoter, and how did it all come about in the early days?
I think the honest answer to that is after I had my joint operation, my first joint rebuild, which was early 2002. And at that point in time, the feedback from the medical people was that it was serious damage that I had in my arm there, and I needed to think about the viability of continuing to put that kind of stress and strain through my arm. And as that went on, I started to look at other things, but I'd always had a desire to change arm wrestling and to do something very different with arm wrestling, to try to do something unique and to try to do something which was how I thought arm wrestling should be presented in the best possible light. That was really where it came from. So I don't know the exact time I really took a step into commentary as an isolation. I think it was more, I put the event together, and I sort of stood up there and talked about it as well.
I have to know. Have you always had the ability to talk? Like some of the one-liners you've got are just phenomenal, and you can rattle off commentary just about over anything. Has that been a gift that you've always had, or is that something you grew in line with this decision to become a commentator and promoter of arm wrestling?
It's difficult for me to answer the question, mate. I'm guessing yes. I always had that because I did it right from the outset. So right off the bat, when we were before we did anything televisually, when we were doing shows at small pubs and venues like that, when I was a kid, when I was young, I'd always done that and always did do that. So yeah, I think it must have always been there for me, mate, to be honest. And then when I did start commentating arm wrestling and I did start commentating fights and so on, the offers were just flooding in.
Yeah,
I got a lot of notice pretty early.
Yeah, I can imagine. So the history of Arm Wars itself, as I mentioned at the beginning, I discovered in 2013. It was on Eurosports, and it was the biggest thing in the world of arm wrestling by a long way. As far as I could perceive, it was being broadcast to tens of millions of audience every episode, and it just was the standout feature of arm wrestling and highlighted it amazingly well. Can you share a bit about how that actually came to be? How did you manage to get onto Eurosports, and were you clear on the vision then, or did you have a team working for you? Was it just all within your own creativity?
Yeah, in the early days, that was 100% myself. There was no team. There never really has been. I've brought in a couple of guys over time to assist in certain things. Most prominent in that would be a very good friend of mine for 25 years or more, a fellow called Paul Alderson, who was involved in events. So he's a brilliant floor manager, production manager for events, and has done some incredible events and expos and things of that nature. You'll have met Paul when you came over to London.
Yep.
And that was probably, I would say that was probably the closest I got to having anybody in the inner circle, if you will, assisting with things like that. And he was pivotally involved with the Eurosport thing. So Paul was huge, is still huge in terms of, he's one of my closest personal friends in the world. Laterally, without question, you would have to say that in my vision for Arm Wars going forward, James Statham is hugely important. He is if I have my choice, the man is a fixture.
Yep.
In Arm Wars going forward.
Absolutely. Where did you find James? I mean, he obviously has immense talents, but where do you find a bloke like that?
James actually on me. James contacted me. He was doing a film. He said, "Look, I want to do a film about you." He said, "You're a unique character. The sort of whole crossover of sports thing, the fact that you were a successful athlete in your own right, and then you went on to get involved in the promotion, creation of events, and things like that. It's a unique angle, and I want to cover you and do a film." And I said, "Okay, no problem." And he started to follow me around, so he was following me to all the Giants events. We're planning to go. He was going to follow me to some of the fights, to some arm wrestling shows, this, that, and the other. You know, all the stuff that we were doing. And we went up to Darwin Tower to film a piece one day, and he was asking me about my vision for Arm Wars and stuff. I gave him an outline on that, and then probably a week later or so, he said, "Oh, I'll share some of the rushes with you that I've done for the film to give you an indication of what I've done and what I'm showing." He did that, and when I saw it, I thought, that is interesting. His sort of the manner in which he was laying it out was very, very aligned to what I had in my head for Arm Wars.
Yep.
In terms of the look and feel. And I said, "Look, I'd love a film about me. Great, that'd be awesome. But it's not really about me. There's a bigger thing here. My aspirations more around the sport that I love. So that, you know, if you're interested, I want to share a concept with you. I want to tell you what I think of what's possible with Arm Wars. And if you're interested, give it you know, have a think about that."
Yeah.
And I sent him over some stuff. I talked to him about it, outlined how I saw it. And I said, "What do you think? Do you think you could do something like that?" And he said, "Yeah, I think I could do something like that."
Yeah, nice.
And we went from there. So that was how James came around. You
nice. And it's quite the contrast, isn't it, from the initial Eurosports days of Arm Wars, where I guess that was more just match focused excitement of that one particular standalone match. Where now it feels like there's almost a documentary feel, or a much deeper and richer storyline is coming to life in these series, and that is exciting. How are you going so far in the early days? I know you've done one Arm Wars event with a few matches have been released, but you've just done Arm Wars Ironhouse has just been conducted last weekend, and what is it like? Is it evolving still? Are you guys clear in your direction?
Oh my God! I yes, we are clear on the direction. I am clear on the direction, and James is trying to pick it out on me all the time. Is it evolving? 100% it's evolving. Yeah, we learned a tremendous amount this weekend. I think we learned how far you can go without sleep. We learned a lot. Yeah, so I don't see it stopping. I don't see that stopping. I think everything in life is a journey. Everything is you never stop learning. The day you stop learning is the day you might as well give up. So
yeah,
I intend to continue to evolve it. I want to first of all realize what I originally set out to do, and I've got a feel that people really like that vision, that concept. We're not there yet, and it's going to take a little bit of time. But what I will say is that Ironhouse is a marked step further along the line of where I want to be. James is a great grounding influence, viability check. When I say some of the things that I'd like to achieve, he will say, "Well, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying, but that's not necessarily possible without, you know, a bigger team working on it and more money, investment and stuff and so on." And yeah, ultimately, yes. Yeah. So it's looking at this thing. There's a bar, and I'm not sure where that bar is or needs to be. there's a thirst for things to be given to people quickly, and yet for the quality and the look and feel to be different. So I'm stepping away from the instant gratification route and going down the when it's worth waiting for. I'm going to give people something that is worth waiting for, and then be very, very consistent with that product. That's the plan.
Yeah,
so that you know, it's like if you like U2, they were they were the band of choice. Then there were things in there, the way that they played the music, Bono's style of singing. You knew what you were getting. Well, that's the same thing that I'm going to do with this. I want to get to a situation where if you like what Arm Wars is about and you like what Arm Wars does, then there'll always be something coming for you to watch, which is, we feel, very different from the set, if you will. Different. And I'm not going to say competitor set because I really don't see it like that. I'm not in competition, as far as I'm aware, with anyone in arm wrestling. I certainly am not trying to be. I'm going to assist arm wrestling and continue to assist arm wrestling wherever and whenever I can. King of the Table, World Arm Wrestling League, PAL. I support all of those organisations and all the others as well, the best I can. What we're looking to do with Arm Wars is a little different. I really think that Iron House will illustrate that. I think we've already gone a little way along the road to showing people what we mean from the way we've produced Reality Check. There's still some good stuff to come from Reality Check, but the truth of the matter is that Reality Check was and is very challenging in terms of getting the product that we wanted. We're far nearer to that with Iron House. And also, just as a side note, wow. You know, God, that was different stuff.
Yeah.
Iron House was ridiculous.
Oh,
I've been doing this for over 30 years, and there was some stuff happened this weekend. We're talking Rocky Apollo Creed double knockout stuff. I mean,
I love it. I love it. The little teasers you put out there. Oh my goodness, I am buzzed already. Just to the thought of watching it. Obviously, I got a vested interest in my good buddy Jordan Davis competing. I can't wait to see how he went. I saw him in a deep hook, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, Jordan's in a deep hook with an elite from the USA. I can't believe it. I literally can't wait. I'm so buzzed to see it. Neil, you touched. Sorry, go on.
Really. Character Jordan. He was an absolute pleasure to have in the house.
He's
very, very popular. The camaraderie amongst the lads was beyond belief.
Awesome.
It was. I hoped and expected it would be, but it was fabulous, mate. It was really, really good. That couldn't have picked a better crop of guys. There was people there that were new. There were people there that were established. There was a few guys that were missing in my eyes. I mean, case in point. Jeff Hale would always be a man that I would have on any Arm Wars card if I possibly could. Maybe, you know, the guys who've gone on from Arm Wars into superstardom, your signature guys like Devin Larratt and Michael, who were mainstays of the promotion back in the day. I'm happy and proud that they've moved on to what many people might consider is bigger and better things.
Yep.
Whether that be the case, we'll see. But hopefully that could come full circle and we could see those old signature pullers that we gave the star in the career back in the Super Series. But I would have been.
I feel like what you're doing in Arm Wars right now, in this new evolution of the Arm Wars series, I think it has an immense long game power to it. I feel like it's something that standalone can be watched and be very deeply entertaining for anyone. It doesn't matter if you're an arm wrestling fan or a long-time fan, or if you're brand new to the sport. When you watch these, you just get drawn in. So I do think that they've got immensely powerful and long appeal, and they'll be discovered over time by new fans, and they'll look back at these moments and they'll think, oh my goodness, they'll be some of the they're almost like mini movies. They're almost, I think, potentially they'll be held up like Pulling John. I think, like let's say Jordan Davis, for instance. You got Jordan Davis making his debut at Iron House. If Jordan goes on to become an all-time great, or something like that, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, people will look back at his early Iron House episodes and just say, look at this, look where Jordan started. Can you believe it? So I think you're going to capture moments like that you don't yet know are moments like that until a decade goes by. And then you're going to have these beautiful stories that we're told.
I really think we already have. I think which are special, unique things. As I say, I've been doing this over 30 years, and some of the stuff that happened this weekend, I've never seen anything like that.
That's amazing.
I've never seen it.
I can't wait.
It's Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner stuff. It's like, what the hell just happened?
Nice.
So
nice. Well, Neil, I like I said, we could talk about this forever, and I'd love to do a part 2 with you about this because there's just so much more depth. But I do know that you have to go in just a couple of minutes' time. So, Neil, I just where do people? I've got the links in the description for everyone who is tuning in here, where you can see both Neil's personal channel and also this new Arm Wars channel. So, guys, please do go click the link and make sure you subscribe and share these damn videos because they're amazing. But Neil, is there anything you'd like to wrap up with, and in terms of the direction, in terms of what you'd love from the fans, anything you'd like to share before you head off?
I would love for all the fans, if you consider yourself a fan of arm wrestling, hardcore or casual, if you're new to the sport, just go over and check these out. Go over to the new Arm Wars channel and just look at it. Have a look at what we're doing here. What we've done in Reality Check is going to give you a flavour of the kind of direction we're going in. We're very proud of it, the way that we're moving with this. I think it's going to just continue to evolve and to improve greatly. Iron House is a massive step up from Reality Check, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. And for everybody that does go over, check those out and subscribe and let people know about them. A massive thank you from myself and James. In fact, we really do appreciate the support. We're going to try our absolute best to bring you the best arm wrestling we possibly can, and to make that opportunity open and viable for as many of you out there as we can. So, yeah, thank you guys, and I really hope you enjoy the shows.
Awesome. I have no doubt we will. Like I said, these are different. These are very different. And if you haven't seen one of these before, just go and hit play, and I guarantee you these will draw you in, and you'll be there for the full 20 minutes, half an hour, how long these videos go for, because they're special. So, ladies and gents, thank you very much for joining us here tonight, or this evening, this morning, wherever you are in the world. I think it's morning for Neil and night for me. But anyway, thank you for joining us. And guys, please leave us a like, hit the share button, all that sort of stuff, and most importantly, make sure you go and support Neil and the new Arm Wars channel. And Neil, thank you so much once again, brother, and we'll speak again soon.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for your time, and to all the guys listening, I hope you and your families are all happy and healthy, and yeah, stay strong, be stoic.
Beautiful. All right, see you, mate. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. Neil Pickup, as I like to call him, the godfather of arm wrestling. He really does have a brand new and spectacular direction in what is happening with the Arm Wars channel. I just have to reiterate it. Please do go over and hit the link to the Arm Wars channel. It's something special. Arm Wars for me was my professional debut on the Eurosports version of it back in 2014. I got to feature on the Arm Wars Super Series. And that for me was the beginning of my journey. And I think what's happening now with the new direction for Arm Wars will once again be the beginning of many professional arm wrestlers' journeys. And the stories that are told on there are truly being done in a way that's never been done before. And it's very, very impressive. So, ladies and gents, once again, thank you for joining us here tonight on this very short podcast. I promise next time I have Neil pick up on, it'll be for a lot longer. We'll chat because there's too many questions that we could ask Neil. But this one is all about the vision of Arm Wars tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again. Please hit the like button, hit the share button. Leave us a comment on what you like about Arm Wars and the new direction as well. And I will see you guys again next time.